What's up, y'all? We are here with another episode of Culture Minute, and we got some special surprises in this segment for y'all today. I am Gentel Sharrie.
I'm Sarina Renee, the one-stop shop.
Your boy King Jaquel, Omar, actor, director, motivational speaker in the building. You feel me?
And as you guys know, Nicki Minaj landed in Amsterdam, and she also landed in handcuffs. She supposedly had pre-rolls in her luggage, and the Amsterdam security or TSA police officers stopped her, asked her for questioning, basically was like, she couldn't do it, and took her to the Amsterdam jail. And mind you, she had a whole concert waiting for her a couple hours later, but she had to postpone it a little bit, after she got done dealing with the law enforcement in Amsterdam.
They just said I have to get in this van and go to the precinct with them. Where am I going? For what?
We will bring you to the police station. Yes?
For what?
You can go because you are carrying drugs.
I'm not carrying drugs.
Okay, but it's not a question here. I think it's.
I'm not
smart to
carrying
go
drugs.
inside.
Number one, when I came here,
Yeah.
the
Okay,
back.
you can go inside.
No, I'm not going in there. I need a lawyer present.
Can we get a single Nikki? Right there, please. Nikki, right here.
It does suck that happened. I know in Amsterdam, weed is legal. So maybe they just were like, you can't bring weed from the United States all the way to Amsterdam. I'm not quite sure all what transpired, but I just have to say, y'all be careful flying with marijuana. Y'all be careful. Just don't fly with drugs, period. We know what happened with Brittany Griner. I'm glad that did not happen with Nicki Minaj. I mean, her barbs were out there supporting her at the jail saying free Nicki. And they even came to her hotel saying Nicki free. So I'm glad she was still able to do her show and get her shine. But just be careful when y'all going through these airports,
Yeah. First and foremost, is it even that serious to bring weed or any drugs to another country? Like, you that pressed? You can't live without it for that long? That's my number one question. Number two, why? Because I know they said that it was her security guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
My question is, did you guys not check anybody before y'all got on the plane, or even y'all knew y'all was going to go to another country? Did y'all not set boundaries and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. We're going to make sure nobody take no drugs. You see what happened with Brittany Griner. We don't want the same situation, so forth and so forth. I feel sorry for Nicki to a certain extent, because I feel like, she went over there to do her concert, for her fans. Everybody was, looking forward to this. And then all of a sudden this situation happened. But I kind of like, okay, was the drugs really hers? And she blamed it on her security guard. Did her security guard take the fall for that? That was another thing I wanted to ask, right? So I if it was her security guard for real, then okay. But if it was hers and then she planned on her security guard, I'm like, come on now.
You gotta protect the money. You gotta protect the money.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But at the end of the day, are you really protecting your money by bringing drugs to another country?
Where it's legal, you can just get it when you get off the plane.
Right.
I just think it's really not
California
that.
weed hit different. California weed hit different.
Okay, but I think you can wait though.
Yeah, you can wait till you get back home. That, to me, that's crackhead behavior.
Listen.
You can't. I'm serious.
I needed to relax before I went in front of all these people. I just needed to get my mind right. I needed to zone out one time.
Okay, well, find a dispensary once you get to Amsterdam and get your weed.
Yeah, and if you can't smoke the Amsterdam weed, maybe you shouldn't, like, no shade, no tea. You should have a show in Amsterdam. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't be without it, don't go to that country.
I would rather take weed I could trust. I don't know.
I mean, then you have to find something else. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like, she really could have ended up like Brittany Griner. Like, for all series aside, like, Amsterdam is a whole different law enforcement than the United States. I mean, luckily she was not in Russia, but I mean, you gotta be careful in these foreign countries.
Yeah.
She had to pay $40,000.
She got it. Privyet
I mean, she
Cocktail
got it, but
for all
who
my
really want
Russian
to?
fans out there. Privyet Cocktail for my Russian people. Inspekcji Deutsch for all my German people. I used to live in Germany, right? As a kid, I was there in Kitzingen and Würzburg. And then when I was in the military, I was stationed at Lonsdale Hospital. And I played semi-pro for the Saarbrücken Hurricanes and the Kaiserslautern Cougars. If you know, you know, right? German police is called Polizei. They do not play, period.
Mhm.
That's the wrong place to go and take a chance. It's not even worth the risk. Like Sarina said, if you're really protecting the money, then you got to protect yourself. Now, I don't know who right, wrong, or the security, but just the fact that you're security, because I do security too, right? There's no way that you didn't have a checklist. There's no way that you didn't know what you're supposed to take and what you're not supposed to take, because you have to make sure that the asset is protected. And if having weed was going to be a situation, did you make a call? Did you call the airlines? Did you find out if it was safe? There are protective procedures that should have took place to protect you from even being in that situation. And if we already had a situation with Brittany Griner, you know what I'm saying? Thank God that she's safe or whatever else. Why would you put yourselves, whether it be someone putting Nikki in that situation, or why would you allow Nikki to put herself in that situation? That's my question. We just have to do better. Thank God that she's safe. Thank God that she got to perform. But it's just weed. It really ain't that serious from my
But my
perspective.
question, King, I know that weed is legal in Amsterdam, right?
They got a lot of weed. They got a lot of drugs that's legal. You can go to Amsterdam and go into a restaurant and they got a menu full of drugs.
But my question is, was it just weed that she went to jail for? Because if it's legal, why are you going to jail for that?
Because here's the thing, you know how in certain places, like even in here in America, you can't take fruit across boundaries. You know what I mean? You can't import things. You can't import goods back and forth. So it might have to be like an importation law where you're not allowed to take it from America and bring it, because they could say, "Oh, you're trying to distribute here." You feel me? You might be trying to take it away from another place and charge a different price for distribution or whatever else. Legally, allegedly, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just giving an opinion. So someone don't take my word, try to twist it, make it more than what it is. These are just opinions of conversation that we're having. So that could be a possible situation.
Well, to your point, it could have been the reason why she went to jail is because probably the amount that they had overseeded what you can bring into the country. I mean, it's a lot of things that wasn't, put in the media. We just know she went to jail for some drugs in Amsterdam. So
great point.
At the end of the day, all artists that's out there, it's not that serious. Keep your drugs at home. You don't know if these people have new laws that went in effect a couple months ago. You don't know. And then your ass gonna be over there stuck and you're gonna have people talking about some free XYZ. No, you shouldn't have brought them drugs over there in the first place.
Great point. Yeah. This is just a shout out to anybody. You're not bigger than the law. So protect yourself from the law. Don't put yourself in positions for situations to happen. Now, I was wrongfully assaulted by the police. So sometimes situations are going to happen. But if it's something preventable, please, 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 please just follow the rules. Because what if that situation would have went left? What if somebody could have lost their life? We see bad situations with the police all the time. Not saying all cops are bad. That's not the point of the situation. The point of it is sometimes bad things happen when it comes to dealing with the police, especially when you're African American. So protect yourselves. Don't put yourselves in those situations. And this, I believe personally, was something preventable.
Yeah, for sure. Another situation that's been going on that's been just viral over the internet is the Cannes Film Festival red carpet. Because what was the security guard, usher, whatever they want to call her, doing? Honestly, I don't know if they talked to the security and just told them like no pictures on the red carpet, but they also have people able to take pictures. The first big viral moment was with Kelly Rowland when Kelly was telling off the person on the red carpet. And then we finally saw videos of the other people who she was like, no, you can't take pictures. But my thing is, when it's a carpet like that going up the steps, the steps is the moment. The steps is really when you show your train of your dress, when you really get those pictures on the steps. And I don't know if they don't know what red carpet etiquette is, but I'm gonna need these security people, these people taking their job so serious to pipe down, because these people, these celebrities, these actors on the red carpet, they're on the red carpet for a reason. Like, they deserve to be on the red carpet and they deserve their moment, and y'all cut their moment short. And I don't like that.
Well,
Yeah.
sir, you had a moment with security when you went out. Talk to us in the field. Talk to us, because I know you're ready.
I am so ready. I am ready to unload the clip on these security guards that be doing too much of these award shows. First and foremost, I'm glad you guys were able to see the NAACP and how the security was acting, because that's something that normally happens at certain events. Sometimes these security guards get the big head, they overpower themselves, they think that they're bigger than life, and they talk to celebrities, us, any type of way. And I remember we went to the NAACP Awards. We were literally going into the stadium. We had our ticket, and the security guard was like doing too much. And what did I tell him? Dude, calm down, pipe down. It ain't even that serious. Like, you're doing,
because your other security guard to the left was like, I check the tickets, they're good. And you're like, I want to, like, what?
yeah, because it was crazy. Two security guards there, right? And the first security guard, he checked our tickets and told us to go through. And then the second security guard saw the man check our freaking tickets, and you want too much? I told his behind to pipe down. And I remember, and I got so much to say on this topic. I am so glad that this happened, because I remember when I first moved here to California, and I told you guys a story.
Talk about it.
I was on the carpet. And when you're on the carpet, the interviewers have a certain amount of time, to give you the questions, so forth and so forth, go to the next person. So I'm answering the questions, and this guy, built like a football player, bigger than me, I'm so little compared to him, and he just interrupt my interview. So the first one, I just was like, okay, whatever. The second one, he did it. I'm like, okay, dude, keep trying me. So that third time was his strikeout. And I remember I was because the second time he did it, I looked at the interviewer and I was like, you know what? Sometimes you'll have distractions in your life, but it's what you do with those distractions. I was like, sometimes people will come in and say certain things to get you off of what the purpose. I was preaching, and I was preaching at him, and he knew I was talking about him. So then the third time I did it, I'm talking to the lady, and he was like, you need to hurry up with your interviews. I was like, sir, I said, let me tell you something. What you're not going to do, you're not going to disrespect me on this carpet. Mind you, it's hundreds of people around, celebrities and everything, media. I didn't care, because now you're disrespecting me, right? So I was like, I told him, I was like, you're not going to do that, so forth and so forth. And he was like, I'm just doing my job. I said, so way that you do your job with tact and integrity. I said, what you're doing right now is crazy. I was like, you ain't finna talk to me like that. And he was like, I'll do it again. Oh, he shouldn't have said that to me. He shouldn't have said that to me.
Baby.
So listen. So, okay, this is the step and repeat banner, right? So I'm back here with the step and repeat banner with the interviewer.
Yeah.
With the interviewer. And he's like right here. This is him. So he's talking about, oh, yeah, I'll say it again. I walked all the way up over to him like this, put my finger in his face. I said, you would never do that to me again. Whatever. And I made that tall, big, buff dude walk away in embarrassment, because I embarrassed him. And everybody that was on that carpet was like, thank you so much, because he kept interrupting their interviews.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and I told every last one of them on the carpet, if all of you guys would have collaboratively got up and left the carpet, it wouldn't have been on y'all. It would have been on him. Yeah. You don't ever let nobody disrespect you, ever. Listen. And then, like I told him, I said, listen, I don't need this opportunity. I was invited here. I create my own. I said, I'm not like these LA chicks. And this is when I first got out here. Boy, I was talking mad cat, boy.
Allegedly, LA ladies. Allegedly, LA ladies.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, so like I was about to say, throughout the event, he saw me and was like, are we good? I said, long as you don't disrespect me. But I was saying all that to share my story that I share with you guys, to our viewers, because these people, that security guards, they're always doing too much. And I'm so glad that this happened, because let me tell you, me and Gentel, we had went to the Grammys Hall of Fame gala, right? Yeah. And so security was so easy. We were in places we weren't supposed to be in. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do, gang.
We ain't talking about that. You had access.
Gentel was like, security is kind of lax. But I think it was because of what happened with Kelly and then what happened to the other girl, because that happened before the gala.
Yeah.
And they must have talked to their security or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that we were in places that we weren't supposed to be in, because obviously we were supposed to be there. But what I'm saying is the way the security was, it was way different from when we went to previous events. And hopefully that culture with these security guards have changed, because I'm glad it happened.
Yeah. And if it doesn't change, they need to give the actors, or they need to give people disclaimers before they come to the carpet so people can know what to expect. You got this much time on the carpet, only one question for one interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to give like a little rundown so people won't feel all hostile when you're just shunning them off the carpet. Like, they're just thinking, okay, it's a normal carpet, like, you know. But if that's what y'all's rules are that day, like, let the actors know who's walking the carpet before y'all put up their slate to get their little names taken, the pictures, and have them walking on the carpet. Look, you can only spend this amount of time. When you get on the stairs, you only got this amount of time. Don't just shun people.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do security, right? Our job is to observe and report. And I feel like a lot of times in situations, people's egos get in the way when they're doing their job of security. First of all, you're not a police officer, so you shouldn't be touching no one, first and foremost. Second of all, the rules should be clear. When I worked at crypto or whatever else, people would try to come in and they would have banners and they would try to make political moves so that way they would get caught on camera. So I'm not sure if they had an issue with it because there was a picture of Jesus on her dress and they felt like she was trying to make a political move. And that's why they were trying to not be able to showcase.
Sorry, Jesus. King, that wasn't it, because they did that to
Wait. I'm just telling y'all protocol. I'm not saying what it is, what it ain't. I'm telling you security protocol, right? For me, they were very disrespectful how they handled that situation. They were very unprofessional how they handled the situation. And that is not observing and reporting. Remember, I said the job of security is to observe and report to your higher ups. So one, those security guards shouldn't have touched that dress. What they should have done is they should have got their supervisors or their superiors to come to that situation to handle the situation because it was beyond them. They should have never, and that's why the actress she was right when she pushed them back. When Kelly snapped, she was right for snapping on them. They were right for it because it was not being professional in their job. They didn't do it the correct way. And that's my take on that.
Well, I don't think it's a political statement because all the time. But why have to be so political when it comes to our Sarina?
Oh, say that again, because on my end it stopped for it, like pause. Say, I don't think it's a political. Start from that.
Oh, I thought King was paused for a minute. I'm like, he okay?
I was like, what happened when she said pause? I was like,
I think it was my internet though. Y'all good?
Yeah. So I don't think it was a political stance because you have plenty of people that show satanic signs all the time. You know, I think that this lady was on an ego trip because not only did she do it to the young lady that had the Jesus dress, she also did it to Kelly and she also did it to another young lady. I think she was a Hispanic actor. So it had nothing to do with politics. To me, I feel like it had everything to do with her being, you know, overly zealous in her role. Yeah. Now, if that lady would have pushed her down them stairs, who would have been at fault? Because now you touched me.
Yeah, because you do some force on stairs and I'm in heels and a dress.
That's self-defense. That would have been self-defense. The lady would have been wrong. And here's my thing. This isn't the first time where, for me, someone tried to talk about Jesus and then they cut him off. There's been interviews in NBA games where people take a stance and they talk about Jesus and they blur it out. And they don't never show the statements of positivity. It's happened. Do your research. There's been plenty of athletes that want to talk about how God blessed them, saved them. That's why they're in that position, and they'll turn the mic off. You know, they look at it in the NFL. They've done it to the NFL players where quarterbacks who are all-star quarterbacks, and they will talk about God, and they'll turn it off. They'll turn it off on purpose.
Right. Well, I understand that, but I don't think that's in this case, though.
Because
Yeah.
it happened to more than 2 people. Like it was to a K-pop artist, Kelly Rowland, the actress that wore the Jesus dress.
And then a Hispanic lady. So it was
I'm just talking about how, if you notice, right, the reason why I'm talking about the Jesus portion is because they kept covering Jesus up. They kept picking up the train. They kept, you know what I mean? With this particular situation, it wasn't, oh, let's hurry up and get you out of here. It was, let me pick up your train. Let me fold it. We're not going to show that.
But they had to pick up her train because the train was so long. Like, she couldn't do it herself. Because usually when ladies have trains on the red carpet, when it's like that big, like Met Gala, they have people who help them. So the security people were trying to just pick it up.
Helping and covering Jesus is 2 different things. You feel me? Because if they were helping, they would have been able to show what was on the dress. I felt like, me personally, I could be wrong, that they were covering Jesus up. I felt like they didn't want to.
I feel like one of the male people that was with her was trying to extend it, but the other male tried to trying
to fold it. Yeah, exactly.
And it's so crazy because there's power in the name of Jesus. And for you to say that Jesus is not the way, the truth, and the light, I ain't trying to force nothing on nobody, but it's obvious that when you say his name, things shake.
Let me ask you something. Let me just ask you a question real quick, because I don't want to go too far off subject. Is it crazy that we're not allowed to talk about God in school, but we can have little kids be talking about their sexuality?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I always thought that was like,
we can take her out of school, but yet we can force different sexual opinions on children. Make sense. But that's why I feel like they're covering they take God out of a lot of things nowadays.
Yeah, and then you got to think about it too. I'm sorry, go ahead, Gentel.
Oh no, I was just agreeing.
Oh, you got to think about it too. And this is something that I had to catch myself since I've been here. A lot of people be like, oh yeah, I just thank God. Last night I had a situation. The person was like, oh, it was God that got us together. Nigga, no, it wasn't God. And what God are you talking about? You have to ask these people, what God are you talking about? Because I always ask, are you talking about Jesus Daddy? You're talking about Jesus Daddy, right? Because that's the God that I know of. So I just want to make sure that we're agreeing about the same God. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to, I respect everybody, their religion, how they think, your beliefs. But I just want to make sure when you say God, I want clarity on which God that you're talking about.
Mm.
Hey, look, ain't no wrong with a little bit of clarity. I'll drink to that. No,
facts. And you know what else? People got some clarity from Lady Gaga recently. I don't understand. She announced at one of her concerts that she has been performing her last couple of shows with COVID because she tested positive. Knowing that we were in a pandemic, and granted, COVID isn't as bad as it was when it first came out, but it still is very contagious and people are still losing their lives from COVID. Why would you perform if you had COVID? I know she told also her employees, you guys don't have to come to work if you're not comfortable, but are you telling, did you tell each concert goer before they came into that venue that you had COVID-19? Because someone really could be very sensitive to COVID and you're literally singing, like you're singing, your breath is going out into the audience. I'm not saying it's going out like that, but shit, that was something for me, like knowing that you're sick, a contagious type of sick, and then it killed thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and you get on stage and you have thousands and thousands of fans, you're just about to spread it again because everybody is not vaccinated. And I like Lady Gaga, but this was not it.
Hey, she finna go in, y'all. Her eyebrows raised. She finna go in. I'm telling you, it's about to get good.
Because I gotta really think about what I'm saying before I say it, because sometimes I don't have a filter. But a lot of people that look like her, they cough without putting their hands over their mouth. They don't wash their hands. They're very unsanitary. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm really not surprised. I'm shocked at the fact that, you're exposing King, cut it out. You're exposing all of these people that came to see you. That means pretty much to me, it's like, fuck y'all, give me the money for my concert. And I'm just going to do the best that I can with this COVID stuff. And if you catch it, that's on you. Now, if she started getting lawsuits because of that, then she going to be crying.
Especially if one of her concert goers tested positive the next day. I would pay me.
Right. But to my right. But to my point, like, you know, I'm not surprised that, you know, she's walking around like that, because some of them say they don't even wash their legs. Some of them even say, like, oh, I don't even use a wash rag. How do you bathe? With my hand in a bar of soap. Okay. So I'm not surprised about that, because at the end of the day, if you look at history, we taught the colonizers how to be clean. I'm gonna shut up.
Go ahead, King. What you think about this? You plead the fifth?
Sarina, go, she cooking.
I had to be quiet because, you know,
Oh, go ahead, Sarina.
All right, there is a debate on Twitter right now that just makes me roll my eyes about what we wash in the shower.
Do you wash your legs? That's what's being debated. A surprising number of people say they skip it. They argue gravity does all the work.
Stop.
I don't know. Maybe that's not surprising.
No. You got to rub to clean, okay? You got to get down there on those legs. Anyway, more than 600,000 people have answered this question online. About 81% say they do take time to scrub their stems. Yes, that's the 80, what did I just say? 81% of the people I want to hang out with. You got to get down in there.
I'm just not worked up about it. I don't know.
There's 19% of people that don't clean their legs.
Well, but you're taking a shower regardless, so I mean, it's not like it's not getting cleaned.
I mean, you only got to do it like what, once or twice a week. You might as well wash your whole body, right?
Nothing that needs to be cleaned, it has to be rubbed. So, like, if you're not having contact with it's the surface. Like, so you're just gonna spray something on the table and then it's clean?
We're gonna move on now. Are you okay? Are you okay?
T's triggered. T is triggered. Hold on.
Are you okay if we move on?
Yeah, I'm good.
Have you made peace with it?
I'm good.
Well, we're going to cut to commercial break, and we're going to give a shout out to our proud sponsors, 24/7 Live Culture. And when we come back, we got a special guest coming to you by the name of Sean Keys. Stay tuned, y'all. What's up? We are back from commercial break, and we have a special guest with us in the building today, Sean Keys. He's a music artist. He dropped his EP, The Journey. He's going to talk about that. And also, he got a single out right now called Trenches. And it's on the way. I think I just might have heard the exclusive. So I don't know if I was supposed to hear that, but I did hear
y'all a little bit of tea. Don't trip. We gave y'all a little bit of tea. Just get ready with it.
It was good too. I felt like when I listened to it in the car, it was something I definitely needed to hear at this right time, because life definitely be lifing, but you got to keep on going and, you know, have faith, because God's going to put you in the right direction.
And look, Gentel, not only that, we making history, y'all. We making history for the first time on Culture Minute. We bringing up our first guest. Somebody's just amazing. His music is just as amazing as this moment. Let me tell y'all, listen. Real talk. It's enough garbage out there in the world. Yeah. You don't find real artists making real music that has a point to prove, that's making impact, that's putting positivity out there, just something that you could just really vibe to, bro. We need to get on a new frequency. We say we won't change. Well, guess what? Music comes with change. That's part of music. So when you got somebody talking that talk the way this young man is talking that talk, I promise you don't want to miss out on it, man. Talk about it.
Appreciate that. That's real. Sean Keys, everybody. This your friendly player partner, Sean Keys, checking in right now. Y'all better tune in, tap in, stay locked in.
For me, what inspired you to make music and then choose the choice that you chose when you was at the fork in the road?
Okay, so what inspired me to make music? You know, my life inspired me to make music. I went through so many things. I've lost so much in this life. I've had so much and gained so much, and I have so much responsibility, not just for myself, but with other people. So, and I realized when you do music, you're conjuring up spirits, right? And not to just be religious about it, but I'm a spiritual person. So I can't give you something that's gonna cause you to go out there and rob a bank, kill somebody, or pimp on the broad. You know,
Right.
I might have some ism in my music, but at the same time, it's still gonna be a message behind it to help enlighten your mind. Because as an MC or an artist, I'm kind of somewhat responsible for the perception of life that you get through my music.
Right, right.
Just like the artists from back in the day, they was teaching us how to move and groove from what the knowledge that they had at that time. So now as an MC right now in 2024, 2025, moving forward, it's still my responsibility to teach niggas how to really guide themselves and how to really move. If they listen, that's cool. If they don't listen, that's cool too. But I have a due diligence to do, and I'm just doing my job.
Okay, that's dope. So here's a real question. What would you tell your younger self? You know, because on this journey, you've been through a lot of ups and downs, right? Good choices, bad choices, because life is it's a lesson. What would you tell your younger self now that you're at the point in your career that you are right now? What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to keep moving past the noise. A lot of people got a lot of chatter, and you would take somebody else's perception of you and internalize that, and it'd kind of hinder you and have you in shackles a little bit. So I would tell my younger self, pimp past the bullshit and keep moving forward.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
You said earlier that people see the race that you're running, right? But nobody understands the journey. So can you give an example to a young, inspiring artist that's on this journey, what it's like to overcome different obstacles and not only overcome the obstacles, but how to keep yourself pure?
Well, first you got to be genuine to yourself. If it feels uncomfortable for you naturally, don't do it. Right. Because then that means you're naturally going against you. If it's a growth situation where it challenges you to be better, then that's a different thing than just doing something that goes against you morally, right?
Right.
So if you're challenged to grow, I say attack that as fast as you can. Fail as many times as you can moving forward. Fail forward as much as you can. But if it's something that's going to take you morally away where you feel ashamed of it, don't fuck with that. Don't do that. But to a newer, younger artist or whoever is inspiring to do anything, challenge yourself in a way where you can jump past the obstacles that's put in front of you and just strategically try to do that. Like even mentorship, find somebody that do what you do, that like to do what you do, and see if you can go around them to learn the game and study the game, because now everything is in textbook. When I was coming up, we didn't know how to move in this music industry for real. So we had to learn to bump our head along the way.
And speaking of moving, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, speaking of moving in the music industry, now that everything is unfolding with the whole Diddy and just everything that's happening, how do you feel like you have to move now in the music industry? Is it different?
Well, now it is different. It's a lot of Diddies in the music industry. There's more Diddies than not, right? No Diddy, but it's Diddies.
We might have to coin that. We might have to coin that right there. No Diddy, but there's some Diddies.
Yeah, it's a lot of Diddies in this shit. But at the same time, like I say, you got to go what's genuinely pure to you. If it feels immoral to you, don't deal with that. You ain't got to, what they call that? I forgot. Sit on the lap. The what's that lap?
Hey, what's that? Cat Williams. Sometimes you got to tell Diddy no. Cat said you got to tell Diddy no.
Who said that? Cat, right?
Cat.
Yeah, sometimes you got to tell Diddy no. See, you got to start off being solid with yourself. And a lot of people come in this industry that they already broken when they approach it, right? So they subject themselves to a lot of different stuff because they don't have the values, the morals, and the confidence and the self-awareness to be able to stand on their own. Like, if I don't get a deal from you, fuck you. I'll go be independent and do my own thing. Right. A lot of people don't have that. So they think they got to suck a dick for a deal. You ain't got to do that.
It's fact.
You ain't got to get fucked in your ass to be on. That's just not the way. When you a man, you're a man. When you're a woman, you're a woman. You ain't got to subject yourself to all that old chaos that goes on, that goes against you morally. But you know, it's a lot of different ditties. And then it's a lot of different ditties that hold the key to a lot of different stuff. So like how we just talked about LaRussell. LaRussell is an independent guy. He ain't getting diddy. You can't diddy him.
Right.
Because he got his own movement. He got the internet that's working in his favor. He got his community that's working in his favor. He got a small team that's doing what they supposed to do. And they making sure that they using all the free services and the marketing services that you got to pay for to push his brand to do what they need to do. So there's no reason for him to go have to deal with a Jimmy Iovine or Clive Davis and play them damn games. You ain't got to play them games for real.
Lucian, any of those cats.
Lucian Grant, it's all about the people.
Yeah.
You got the people, that's it. Because they don't have the people all the time. That's why they try to find the next new trend and jump behind that to make that artist. You ain't got to do all that.
I think a lot of times people don't understand that, yo, you really the wave. You're talent, the wave, you are you. And the one thing that I did love that you said, Sean, was that you're responsible for the content that you make. And so you're very careful about, you know, conjuring different spirits about the different information that you're putting out into the world. So as a director, you know what I mean? I feel the same way about the content that I make as a director. You know what I mean? We don't always have to be twerking. We don't always have to play a gangster. No disrespect, because Green Light Gang, you know, put me in power.
Yeah, I mean, I got some shit that's gonna make a girl twerk. I got some shit that's gonna make a nigga feel in that groove.
We're more than that, though. You feel me? That's
right. That message, you still got to listen to my undertone message. It ain't fully. It's that element is there, but the message is bigger than that. Because I don't want to get stuck doing club dates for my whole career. This is arena type shit that I'm building on and working on.
Okay.
So you want to subject yourself to just doing a capsule as a one hit wonder and then just being the chitlin circuit, or you want to take this shit international? I'm trying to force the international way. That's why these records is coming like that.
Well, Sean, you said you're going to go international. You're not trying. You're going to go international.
Going to go international. That's it. Yeah. Thank you for the correction, my brother.
I got you. Serena, what you got?
So let me ask you a question, Sean. I know I came on late. I apologize for that.
No, you're right on time. Got here right on time.
My question to you is, you know, do you think that artists that are coming out with positive messages are having more of a hard time in the industry being picked up, or, you know, just having a bigger platform?
That's always been an issue because the music industry is not designed for the positive message.
Right.
So you always run into those issues. Mm-hmm. But when you're in a need basis as an artist, then your voice gets muted a little bit. When you don't need shit from them, you do your own thing, you can push your message however you want to at that point. And that's the beauty of being independent. And that's why I choose to stay independent, because everything that we do and what we make, we put our own money up. And whatever we make back in return, you know, you go put way more in this than you get back. And whatever we get in return, we don't owe nobody nothing.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad you said that, Sean. There's a movie, Cadillac Records. Y'all remember that? And they had a guy named, I think it was like the Howlin' Wolf or something like that. Don't get me wrong.
The Howlin' Wolf.
Right? And they talked about his truck. They talked about his truck, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, but it's mine. See, y'all might have them pretty Cadillacs, but y'all don't own none of it.
Yep.
Talk about what you want to talk about, but I have ownership over mine, and it's a difference. And I don't think sometimes as the people that we really don't understand the power of ownership.
That's it.
Yeah. So
go ahead. Ownership is the best way. It goes, and motherfucker can't pull up on me and take nothing. My master's nothing. You can't take nothing from me. You got to go to my attorneys and all kind of shit. You try to steal one of my records. I don't give a fuck if it blow up right now. You might have to do a sample 10 years from now. That's going to be my payday in 10 years. That's cool because we own everything. I don't give a fuck. It's going to be other businesses and other opportunities that we put together around all this anyway.
Right.
So whatever. I'm not finna go sit on them and beg them. Almost said it wrong. I'm not finna go beg them people for nothing.
No, that's good. You have your own ownership with your new EP, The Journey. And talk about that, because you also recently were on a hiatus, so you're coming back. I'm coming back. Yep. I took a break. My daddy died, and he's first generation music industry. Thank you. So I took a break for about a year. How long was I on break? About a year and a half.
And I came back with the Journey, and the Journey is a collective of records that I did in my career when I, just along the way over the past, let's say 15 years.
Yeah.
So I released different songs that I like in that time that I never put out. And that was the Journey, which led up to the single Someday, which we did on the radar, did that freestyle on the radar, and then I ended up releasing that as a record. And now we come in with the new one, Trenches, next month.
And Someday, that single that you did, you were working with a Grammy producer.
Yep, RJ2 from Beats How You Want Them.
Okay.
Yep, Raphael RJ2, and then he did a few other records that I have that's coming too as well. We got some stuff coming. I'm so glad, and we own everything ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we're ready to go and do business with whoever because we're free to do that.
Right.
I like the fact that you said you're free. Most people don't understand that free part. You feel me? And shout out to RJ. Shout out to you. Much love to you. Congratulations on your success, family. You know what I mean? Big up. But I love the fact that sometimes because we come out of bad situations, we take deals that we ain't got no business taking.
No
we're
business
so desperate. And that's why. Go ahead, Sean.
I was 13. I was finna sign with Death Row when I was 13 years old, right? I ain't finna age myself or date myself. I'm still a young nigga. Just don't get it twisted. I'm in shape, so y'all. But anyway, my pops pulled me back. The deal was okay, but the environment wasn't right.
Right.
So sometimes it's the environment that you go put yourself in because you can just go off the tracks and be. If I would have signed with them at that time, I was already drinking and smoking. I'm a teenager, right? If I would have signed with them at that time, I would probably be a drug addict or coming out of the pen around now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he pulled me back from that opportunity that was presented at that time because I wasn't ready.
Right.
So now looking back at it, the different people who was around, I was able to manage some of those acts. You know what I mean? Like Casey and JoJo, they was hot back in them days. So we ended up managing JoJo Haley and got him his situation when he went solo. So I just appreciate a lot of little shit that didn't happen. So another word to the wise for those youngsters coming up: appreciate what didn't happen.
Yeah,
because it all work in your favor at the end.
Hey, look, basically what he said, you understand, every door that open, you ain't gotta walk through. Just make sure you walk through the right door. And he also talked about the environment. You could put a seed in some dirt, but if it's bad soil, the seed will never grow what it's supposed to become.
Never grow.
What you about to say, Sarina?
No, I was just saying I love the fact that, you had a mentor. And a lot of people that's coming into this industry, they don't have a mentor and they just go in it blind, they go in it green, they get taken advantage of all the time, you know? And unfortunately, fortunately you had your father, but a lot of people don't have that. So one thing I will tell people, and I've told a lot of my mentees, is to have somebody that's been in the game that can show you the ropes. You ain't gonna go in there knowing every single thing. You need somebody there that's gonna say, hey, you don't have to take this deal. Even some of my mentees, I tell them, like, they're so scared that if they tell a producer or a director no, that they're not going to get any job. No, that's not the point.
Yeah, they ain't the only one.
Yeah, the point is, no, this is not conducive to my character and my integrity. I don't feel comfortable doing this role. If you have something else, let me know in the future. So I teach them how to do that. So it's I'm glad you made that point because it's very important to have a mentor when you're in this industry so you can know how to navigate so you will not get taken advantage of.
That is very true. And it's very important to have an attorney. Find you somebody that know the law. If you don't have an attorney, find you the smartest person that you know in your family and have them look over them agreements with you and let them use their network to help you if they can, because you will get robbed out here. So you need to know fine-tune fine print of what this really means and what this really is. And make the attorneys explain it to you too. Make them explain it to you to where you understand what the hell they saying to you.
Right.
Yeah. And it's good to have a good CPA too, because once you start getting bigger amounts of money that you're not used to making, you'll know how to manage that. You'll know how to manage your taxes. A lot of people are like, oh, I struck this deal. I got 2.5 million. Okay. how much you have to pay in taxes, how much you got to pay your team, how much you got to pay the lawyers, your CPAs. Like all of that is, important to know.
$1 million is not $1 million. That's a couple $100,000.
Yep.
Because you got half of that is going to the IRS, and then the other portion of that is going to your management.
Yep.
It's going to your agent if it came through the agent. It's got to go to feed your team, like you just said. So
marketing.
Marketing and all that. You got to put it right back in the funnel to keep going.
So Sean, we were speaking offline, and a lot of fans didn't get to understand the portion that we were talking about with how LaRussell built his own table and how he put the bay on, and how you have a lot of living legends that are appreciating how he built his own table and how he's now conducting himself and putting his impact on the world from his blueprint of how he's changed the game. So what would you say to that for the people who weren't privy to that conversation?
Well, I would say, LaRussell is one of those ones I tip my hat to, because he was able to have the tenacity and the will, and he took the time to study the environment of this business, right? So he has he understood the temperature. All right, if he gets signed, because he got offered a deal from Rock Nation, I believe, too.
Yeah.
Didn't take it because that goes back again to the environment. He wanted to control his own environment, right? So now LaRussell is a super independent act. He does concerts where you would do a donation base. That's genius, because how much do you value me and appreciate me? So he leaves it up to his fans to determine that, right? He's still going to show up anyway, because he's still got merch to sell. He's still got other things to do to sell. He already know all his digital downloads is going to be there. So he makes himself accessible to his fan base and new people, because just doing a pergola, imagine how many other people are going to post that they were there. That's free marketing and advertising on top of what they paid to get there. You see what I'm saying? So I admire him. And then he got like all of the Richie Rich and all of those guys go to his stuff from the Bay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he giving the old school Bay artists a new breath of life too.
Right. I told you about the IG post with the impact that LaRussell had, because you talked about the different type of spirits that you put into your music is a true thing. So I was talking about the impact that this father posted his son with autism, shout out to that family, about how the positive music and the impact that it made on his son, and how that music brought a bond between the father and son closer together, and how his son actually got to put on one of LaRussell's songs and they got to vibe out, and he had his own personal concert. And just to see the joy and reaction of LaRussell, of how he made an impact on the kid, and then how he made an impact on the father in the relationship, I think it was a blessing mutually for both sides. And I think that it shows how much, when we put positive things out there into the world, the return on investment is amazing.
Amazing, man. Yeah. Because you're talking to spirits when you put this music out there. You don't know where it's gonna go. So you want it to go as far as you can. The positivity, you want that to touch as far as you can absolutely make it touch.
Yeah.
Because you're responsible as an MC, as a painter, as a whoever that's dealing with influence on people, you're responsible for how people kind of receive it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people deal with mental health. They take this stuff too serious.
Right.
So you got to kind of buffer that, to be there, to be the one to say, okay, well, spoon feed them some real fruit and veggies that they need for their mind, because some people are really messed up. So
It's funny that you mentioned, how positivity actually impacts, right? So I saw an article months ago. It was about plants, and they had 3 different plants. One of the plants, they played heavy metal and rap. The other plant, it was classical music. The other one, it was more positive music. Do you know, just by the music that was playing, it actually allowed certain plants to grow faster?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
It's the frequency. It's the frequency, the energy that you're putting into it. And you guys can do your research. Look up this thing called I Being Dream, right? And it's a seed where it has inscribed words on it, right? And when you water the plant and take care of it, the words that are inscribed on the seed are now on the leaves of the plant. So what they did a test where they put negative words on the plant and they put positive words on the plant. one died and the other one actually grew to, into a beautiful plant. So that's really true of what you're saying. And it's funny when we compare it to music, no disrespect, but we'll take someone like Future. He's singing Molly Percocet, right? There's a consequence when you put that out into the world. And then they ask Future, hey, do you do drugs? No, I don't do any of that.
No, you don't.
I don't do any of that. That's not even my lifestyle. I'm just putting the music out because that's what they're asking me to put out. And when you put out that type of content, you get more radio play, you get more this. And it's a reason why they want to pay people, because if I'm not wrong, allegedly, when you have musical ties, the musical ties are also allegedly to the prison system just as well.
Of course it is. Of course it is, directly. It's called a prison pipeline. The government set this shit up years ago, and they've been doing it since Parliament Funkadelic. They were sampling those psychedelic drugs, and they would talk about it in their music. So then when those Love Child, Flower Child, that generation, our parents and grandparents was doing what they was doing, getting high, dropping acid and all that shit, then the government was in control of all of that. It was all experimental. And then it went into the 70s, the cocaine was out of control, and then it went into the 80s when crack came, and then here come the gangster rap and the prison pipeline with the Bushes, and all of them came through, and a lot of people was going to jail for too much time. This is systemic since before we didn't even have a chance. They already had the rule book and the playbook already mapped out for us.
Yeah. And now that we're in today hip hop, what message would you like to bring from your music for your listeners to hear?
What message? I want people to grab real life again. And I want them to, because I talk about a various amount of things, but some of it is very positive, that especially the stuff that I do have coming up. And I do a lot of like love type songs where I sing on it and talk about, different relationship stuff. But I want people to be able to be comfortable with being themselves. Gain your own identity and self-awareness. If I could give you that reminder, because you know better. So if I can give you that annotation of a reminder of what you are and who you are, for you to just reflect and dissect to yourself like, oh shit, I need to really do this or I need to do that, then I've done my part as an artist.
Yeah. And where can we listen to your music, find your work, follow you on socials at?
Everywhere you can go is Sean Keys, SEANKIEZ. Keep it easy, your friendly player partner.
Okay, Tapping with Sean Keys. Thank you so much for joining us as the first ever guest on Culture Minute. You have dropped a lot of gems. We appreciate you. And we're going to be looking out for Trenches on the way.
It's on the way. Trenches on the way.
Y'all support that. Y'all cop that. Y'all put that in y'all stories. Y'all make sure y'all tag Sean. Let them know that y'all supporting them. Shows love. If y'all say y'all want to create changes, well, this is how you start. This is exactly how you start.
This is it. Just repost me. That's all. I don't cost you nothing. I ain't asking for no money. Just play it and repost and say, this nigga whack or he nice. That's it. That's all you got to say. And then let everybody else judge for themselves. Just start the conversation.
Right. And make follow as well. Don't just be
follow.
Get in the comment sections. Like you said, good or bad, at least you're participating in it. You feel me? So it don't cost you nothing.
That's it.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Y'all take care of yourselves and take care of each other.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
That was a vibe. Bop, bop, bop. Y'all got to kick it with Sean. You know what I'm saying? On Culture Minute, y'all better appreciate these gems. Y'all better appreciate these celebrities. The new ones stepping up to the plate. Things that's happening. Things is moving. It's just not Essence Festival. Now we bringing y'all guests. Next we gonna bring y'all videos. Like we got to keep reinventing ourselves. That's what we do. That's why we lit.
I love it.
That was great. We just heard from the legend himself, Sean Keys. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. The next topic of discussion is Sean Kingston. Him and his mother were arrested. They stole more than $1 million through fraud, and they put their mugshots up. Sean Kingston, he posted to social media basically, saying his take on it, but that's scary. I mean, why do people resort to fraud? It's allegedly, I don't know what's true or not, because, it could be very innocent, maybe something happened where it seemed like it was fraud, or maybe they did do fraud. I'm not quite sure, but you really haven't heard too much of Sean Kingston in a very long time, and he has been laying low. And it's like, you've been laying low, but how have you been getting your money? And maybe it's been through fraud, allegedly. We don't know if that's true, but that could be a speculation.
I like when
I do. Sean Kingston be having some hits now.
Yeah, I like when our other guest Sean was on, and Sarina and Sean was talking, and Sarina said, "Hey, it's very important to have someone do your books, your accounting, your CPA. It's very important to know what goes on in those books, because when you try to do the Ozark stuff and cook your books, eventually you're going to get caught. Eventually. And if anybody who does accounting, we all know when you're trying to balance a ledger, you got to go through all the receipts to make sure that all the money matches, so you have a zero balance at the end. Because if you don't, they're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and eventually, if you get audited, you're going to get caught. Allegedly, if that's what you did. So it's very important, and that's why I like Sean's interview to say, hey, you don't just do the books by yourself. Teach me what you're doing so I have some type of understanding. Because you're still responsible when you're the person bringing in all the money. And eventually what's done in the dark always comes to the light.
Yeah.
I'm sorry but it seems like a lot of our talented people who are doing very well in the industry, sometimes y'all want everybody to lifestyle until you see their lifestyle ain't their lifestyle.
Yeah, because they're saying from October to March, they stole almost $500,000 in jewelry, more than $200,000 from Bank of America, $160,000 from the Escalade dealer, more than $100,000 from First Republic Bank, $86,000 from the maker of customized beds, and other small amounts. And the house got raided. Like the SWAT team raided his house. So like they've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of money to be just, I mean, period, you shouldn't be doing it at all, but like that's, I mean, dang.
Like how? Like, I don't understand.
I don't understand.
When you're talking about the furniture, was that more of like Rent-A-Center? Because I heard I don't know how true that is, but on social media, people was like, how they gonna raid the man house for Rent-A-Center furniture and stuff like that? So I don't know.
You're right. Because it says Kingston in February is saying he failed to pay $120,000 of a $150,000 bill for a 232-inch television that's installed in his home. So I guess they're calculating what he has in his home, and maybe he's failed to make these payments, and it's just added all up.
That's insane.
I just said, you got to have somebody watching your books. If you don't watch your books are going to watch you.
Well, it looked like he wasn't watching no books. It looked like he bypassed the books and went into the fraud because he felt like he can just go ahead and do that. And then you're going to drag your mama into this? Like, come on now.
We know my mama be putting our bills in their name, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You drag your mama in that? Like, that's messed up. That's just like a parent putting bills in their kid's name, and when they turn 18, they can't get nothing because their credit messed up. Like, that's totally insane, you know? And the fact that they end up arresting the mom too. Like, how do you feel as a man?
And her bond was high.
Huh?
Her bond was high. Like, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you said her bond was high. How much was it?
Let me go back to it. Let's see here. I know, I was like, dang. Because they got her mugshot up here too. Fuck.
That's crazy.
Mama's mugshot is crazy. It wasn't just Mother's Day.
Right.
Oh, $160,000 was her bond.
So it's probably $10,000 for her to get out though, because I think it's like, you know, but
that's not my question to get out.
Say that again?
So that's not that bad to get out. 10,000.
Yeah, not bad. But my question is, or did Sean Kingston mama know what she was doing? Because you know, it's a lot of parents out there that be on some stuff because they want to continue a lifestyle and they would do anything to continue that lifestyle. So was she in cahoots to this? If she was, shame on you for putting your son in this predicament. Because you know, you have a lot of mothers that have sons, and they'll do anything for their son. They'll make excuses for their son. That's why it's a whole bunch of BANs out here, you know, bans. You feel me? Because you're a mama's boy and your mama is hindering you in a lot of stuff. And sometimes a parent can have you be make your downfall, you know? And if that is the case, this is what happened. And it's a sad situation, you know? So I hope that both of them learned a lesson, and don't do this junk no more. And I don't think, King, that it was anything about having the right people, because obviously before he got to this point, he did have a good, you know, financial backing with CPAs and things like that when he was doing his career, because we never heard anything about him. He never filed bankruptcy. You know, we haven't heard any of that up until now. So sometimes people just don't want to do right. And they think that fraud is the way to go. And they think that they're not going to get caught. And like you said before, you're not above the law. And a lot of people think that they're above the law because of who they are. And, you know, hopefully this is a learning lesson for them both.
Yeah. Well, we got some good news, y'all. Sha'Carri Richardson, she is getting ready for Paris. She just won the pre-classic in her first 100 meters of Olympic season, and she was out at a 10.83. She was facing Elaine Thompson, who is also an Olympic medalist from Jamaica, and she did her thing on the track. I mean, people can talk about her all they want to, but she is here to stay. She has made her comeback, and she's putting track and field back on the map.
I'm so proud of that young lady. I am so proud of her because she never changed for nobody.
Bad.
Good, the bad, the ugly. She always has been her. And I love that. Even when she first came out and people was like, oh, she's ghetto. She got the long nails. So did Flojo. What y'all was saying about her, you know? Then, you know, she had the situation with the drug test or whatever. But she never wavered with who she was. She always put in the media authentically. And that's one thing I can respect for her. And because of that, she had got an endorsement deal with Nike. She started getting different things, you know what I'm saying? So I am super excited to see what's going to happen at this particular event. And I'm rooting for her. I am rooting for her. And I think she's going to be the next Flojo.
I think she might surpass her. I think she is the next trailblazer.
Yeah.
I think that she is such a hero to all the other young ladies coming up in the world. To showcase that you can go through adversity, you still get to be who you are, and you're still amazing when you know who you are. And adversity only gives you an opportunity to prove yourself to that. So shout out to her winning her race. I can't wait to see them do the 4x1 just as well. I know they're going to go crazy with that event, but I just love everything that she stands for. I don't care whether they try to throw her nails under the bus. I don't care whether they try to talk about her hair or different hair colors. I don't care what they have to say about her. At the end of the day, gorgeous, you keep being you. You keep being amazing. You keep representing, because you are a new light bearer for all the young ladies that are coming after you. So thank you for carrying that torch, because a lot of times we see you at the finish line, but we don't understand the race that you're running. And the race that you're running is bigger than the one that's on the track. So I appreciate you.
Amen. Black Girl Magic. And that was another episode of Culture Minute, our special Culture Minute, because we had our first ever guest on the road to Essence. Thank y'all for tuning in with us today. I am Gentel Sharrie.
I'm Sarina Renee, the one-stop shop.
It's your boy, King Jaquel Martin, actor, director, motivational speaker. And make sure y'all follow us. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all just come get a, follow us on Instagram. You feel me? Get at us.
Yep.